In the heart of the Middle East, a crisis unfolds. The Israeli military has issued an evacuation order for the Gaza City neighborhood of Al-Shijaya, affecting approximately 100,000 people. The backdrop to this crisis is a complex and long-standing conflict between Israelis and Palestinians, with roots reaching back to the late 19th century. This conflict has been marked by violence, displacement, and suffering on both sides. In recent years, the rise of Hamas, a Palestinian Islamist militant group that controls the Gaza Strip, has exacerbated the situation. Hamas has launched thousands of rockets into Israel, to which Israel has responded with airstrikes and ground invasions. Now the Israeli military cites a concrete and imminent threat from Hamas militants as the reason for the evacuation order. However, many civilians in Al-Shijaya have refused to leave, despite warnings from the military. The Israeli military insists it's taking steps to minimize civilian casualties, but the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, calls this evacuation order impossible. As the conflict intensifies, a humanitarian crisis looms over Gaza. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs estimates that over 100,000 people have been displaced by the violence. The Israeli evacuation order, issued on August 4, 2023, has left thousands without a home and without a safe place to go. The people of Gaza are trapped in an escalating conflict. On one side, the Israeli military, citing a concrete and imminent threat from Hamas militants, has ordered the evacuation of the Al-Shijaya neighborhood in Gaza City. This order affects approximately 100,000 people, creating a wave of displacement that the region is ill-prepared to handle. On the other side, Hamas, a Palestinian Islamist militant group, maintains control over the Gaza Strip, launching attacks into Israel and further fueling the violence. The result is a deadly tug-of-war, with civilians caught in the crossfire. The devastation is widespread. Over 10,000 homes have been damaged or destroyed, leaving families homeless and desperate. Basic services, too, have been severely impacted. Over 1.2 million people are now without access to running water, a vital resource now dangerously scarce. Electricity, too, is a luxury for many, with over 400,000 people plunged into darkness. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, has responded to this dire situation, calling the evacuation order impossible. Their spokesperson, Chris Gunness, has stated that there is no safe place for people to go in Gaza. The entire strip, he says, is an open-air prison under siege by Israel. UNRWA schools are being used as shelters, but they are already overcrowded and unable to accommodate more people. With over 10,000 homes damaged or destroyed and over 1.2 million people without access to running water, the situation in Gaza is dire. The entire Gaza Strip, according to UNRWA, is an open-air prison under siege. As the conflict rages on, the humanitarian crisis deepens. It's a crisis that demands immediate attention, a crisis that cannot be ignored. The crisis in Gaza is not just a regional issue. It's a global concern. The international community can no longer afford to look away. The ongoing conflict, the impossible evacuation order, and the resulting humanitarian crisis are a call to action for all of us. It's time for us to spread awareness about the situation in Gaza, to shine a light on the suffering, the displacement, the fear. But awareness is just the first step. We must also push for international intervention to protect civilians and end the violence. It's crucial that we remind our leaders, our influencers, our communities about the importance of adhering to international humanitarian law. The protection of civilians must always be a priority, regardless of the circumstances. We can use our voices to amplify the calls for justice, for peace, for humanity. We can use our platforms, no matter how big or small, to share the stories of the people of Gaza, to help make their struggle visible to the world. And we can stand in solidarity with them because their fight for survival, for dignity, for rights is a fight that concerns us all. Raise your voice, spread the word, and stand in solidarity with the people of Gaza. Their struggle is our struggle. Their rights are human rights. Remember, silence in the face of injustice is complicity.